Is Pompeii by Bastille actually about the city of Pompeii? Or is it about something much, much deeper? The answer to both those questions is yes. And we're gonna be talking about exactly what that means today. Hey everybody, I'm Clifford Stummy, the pop song professor, and welcome to my channel where we make English class awesome by explaining and sometimes roasting song lyrics on school days. And today we're talking about Pompeii by Bastille. And rather than making you sit around in suspense, let me tell you what Dan Smith, the lead singer, said about it. He says in an interview with NME, it's really about what happened in Pompeii and the city. Famously, the city was sort of dug up and people who were wiped out by the volcano were kind of discovered, or the negative space of their body was discovered in the poses in which they died. And I just thought that was such an interesting image and a really happy one as well. So the song is sort of imagining a conversation between two of those people. Wait, what? He said it was happy? Yep, I looked it up. He did say it was a happy one. I'm not really sure what's so happy about people dying in a volcano eruption, but he also talks about how it goes a little bit deeper. He says it is essentially about fear of stasis and boredom. Being quite a shy, self-conscious person, I was afraid my life might get stuck. And early in the stages of Bastille, he actually was, it was more of the Dan Smith band and everybody else was just backing up his music career, but he was so nervous about being on stage that he would sing and play music and instruments from behind the bass player because he was so nervous about being in front of people. And speaking more into that fear of stasis or just being stuck somewhere forever, he says, I was working a crap job and thinking about those images of those people in Pompeii. My life was also in stasis. I imagined a conversation between two people frozen in the same position forever. So on the surface level, yeah, it's about the eruption of Mount Vesuvius destroying Pompeii. But on a deeper, more emotional level for Dan Smith, it's about his own fears of being caught or trapped in some sort of disaster in his life, whether that disaster is dramatic or just being stuck in a sucky job. At the beginning of the song, they sing ooh, ooh. And I might not be saying that right, but that's basically it, and it's Latin for alas. And so it's kind of like, alas, the sad thing has happened, and it's like this precursor to the rest of the song to let us know we are gonna be talking about something sad. Even if Dan, for some reason, thought it was a happy image, I still haven't quite figured that one out. It might be like British slang for sad? No, that's dumb. Yeah, I don't really know. He sings, I was left to my own devices. Many days fell away with nothing to show. And that could be about the people being trapped, or it could be about life before the volcano when just nothing was happening. And then the explosion happens. And the walls kept tumbling down in the city that we love. Great clouds roll over the hills, bringing darkness from above. And those clouds are the volcanic ash spewing out and blocking out the sunlight. But we get a more hopeful note in the chorus. If you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like you've been here before? So I imagine the volcano erupting, or the two people sitting there frozen in position, imagining a happier time. And he concludes the chorus, how am I going to be an optimist about this? How indeed, if you are stuck in a situation you don't want to be, and it's just your whole situation feels like you're stuck, how do you be an optimist about that? In verse 2, we hear, we were caught up and lost in all of our vices, in your pose as the dust settled around us. Maybe before the volcano exploded, they were doing things they weren't proud of, and now life has come to a complete standstill. Or maybe they feel like the place they're stuck in is kind of a result of things that they've done wrong in the past. And as you look to fix this, the question that they ask is, oh, where do we begin? The rubble or our sins? Do we try to rebuild our lives, or do we try to fix ourselves? That is a deep question. Do we find ourselves and become better people and try to figure out how to do things right? Or do we try to become happy and take care of ourselves and stay safe? What's more important in this situation? Do we try to fix our lives, or do we try to fix ourselves? And if you watch the music video, it's very interesting because he's walking through what seems like an abandoned Los Angeles, and he starts seeing people whose eyes are completely black, and it's really scary and it's really weird. Something's overtaking them, and so he runs away. He hops in this car and he drives into the mountains, and he starts to see these like beautiful landscapes and these tall mountains and these valleys, and it's very picturesque. There's like light shining down from the clouds, and at the last moment he turns around and his eyes have become black too. Whatever it was has overtaken him as well. And I've seen it explained that music video is also symbolic or a metaphor for the explosion of Pompeii. No matter how fast anybody maybe tried to run, they were still going to be killed. And you wonder if maybe Dan was escaping to the mountains and trying to go up into these scenic, abandoned places because before his eyes clouded over, maybe he wanted to see beautiful things one last time before evil or death or whatever overtook him. Which I think is a really cool thought. Like, what would you do if you were about to either lose your eyesight or your hearing or something that you currently have, or if you were about to die, what would be the last thing you would want to do? It's an especially interesting question to consider in light of what happened in Pompeii. If you guys want more song explanations or your song lyrics critiqued, check out my Patreon in the description down below. Thanks so much for watching this song lyric and to some extent music video explanation. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. What's a good song for me to explain in the future? Your comment might show up in a video. Check out these videos right here. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.